Welcome back. Well, our brave troops spent 20 years fighting in Afghanistan, and to this day, many continue asking the big question, how much did we spend? We've talked about the lives lost, and that is so tragic. But a lot of people also want to know, where'd the money go? According to auditors at openthebooks.com, they know exactly where the cash went over the last 20 years. Yeah. Advocate for government transparency, Adam Andrzejewski, now releasing 10 U.S. investments that didn't pan out. And the number one, $82.9 billion on Afghan security forces. Number two, $8.9 billion on anti-narcotic efforts from 02 to 21. Number three, $1.5 billion for the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. Number four, $800 million for the Respect Women campaign. And number five, $174 million on lost drones in Afghanistan. Let's bring Adam out, the founder and CEO of Open the Books and also a contributor to Forbes magazine, to talk some more numbers. Adam, welcome to the program. I want the big price tag because we've all heard different numbers. I know I've heard hundreds of billions, but I also thought I saw 2.3 trillion. How much did we spend in 20 years? Do you have the exact figure?
So the U.S. taxpayer has been very generous with Afghanistan. Estimates range, as you said, up to $2.3 trillion. That was put together by the researchers at Brown University. Here's what we know from our audits at openthebooks.com. We took a look at, over the course of the last 6 years, U.S. foreign aid, and it was $300 billion. Now, into Afghanistan, out of 170 countries, Afghanistan was number one. And we have $6 billion of direct U.S. foreign aid into Afghanistan. That placed them number one out of 170 countries. The other night, President Donald Trump said that all in, with military aid, with foreign investments and economic aid and foreign aid, the grand total per year was $44 billion. And Dan, if that's true, that outranks 48 out of 50 states on the federal aid to state governments. Afghanistan was basically a wholly owned state of the United States government for the last 20 years. So here's the question. What, did we build? What was sustainable? It all got swept away in a couple of days.
Yeah. What did we get? I mean, for the troops, and I'll say it time and time again, we got security and safety on the homeland because the terrorists took the fight to our brave men and women in uniform there on that ground instead of here on the homeland. Set that aside, what did we get for trillions of dollars? Because the Taliban just sitting there knowing we were going to leave like we did in the 80s when we secretly snuck the guns in so they would beat the Ruskies, right? We wanted Russia dead, but we wouldn't do it ourselves because we couldn't. It would have been a nuclear war, I get it. But then we left them high and dry. We didn't learn our lesson in the 80s. We didn't learn our lesson now. Trillions of dollars, 2,200 dead, 20, 30,000 injured, tens of thousands more with PTSD. They got control of the country. They got our weapons.
So, Dan, I'm from Illinois. It is the Super Bowl of corruption. But this Afghanistan, this is corruption on steroids. In Illinois, we're used to legalized money laundering schemes. And this Afghanistan for 20 years certainly looks like a money laundering scheme to fleece the American taxpayer. Let's take a look at the $10 billion that the American taxpayer funded on this anti-narcotics campaign, which was an abject failure over 18 years. Poppies, the poppy crops in Afghanistan soared to all-time highs. Even the United Nations said there was no measurable results to our $10 billion in this war on narcotics in Afghanistan. The United Nations called Afghanistan a narco state.
Yeah. And I heard from a guest yesterday, they also increased their production. I didn't even know they were into this. Meth. So they're doing the opium and the meth. So I'm so glad that worked. I'll tell you, Adam, you gave us a lot to think about, I hate to say this, a lot more to be upset about. Hearing that much cash has been spent, and I will say for naught when it comes to the money. This was for naught, looking at what has come. Adam Andrzejewski, thank you. Openthebooks.com is where he works. Look him up. They're doing good. They're tracking our money. We appreciate what you're doing out there for us, Adam. Take care.
Dan, thank you.
Yep.